Right, so the story so far is me and Liv have somehow transported in time because a ship hyperspaced right next to us and made us travel through time, something like that. And there's something about a virus being spread across the universe because of it.
Initialize neural matrix transfer. Verify hardware connection. Okay. Mapping core protocols to target. Success. Initialize boot sequence.
Ah!
Jack, look at me. You alright?
I'm sorry. Who is Jack?
Do you know what?
I'm fine. I was only joking.
Oh, God, you had me worried.
The transfer worked just as Juno said. It was funny though, right?
Hilarious. Well, Jack, I'll say this. You certainly clean up nice.
Thank you. I must admit this shell's architecture is much more spacious than my previous one.
Just don't go forgetting where you came from.
Now that the transfer is complete, I'd suggest running calibrations to acclimate your software to the new shell.
That's actually not a terrible idea.
Then it's settled. I'll queue up the appropriate modules.
Sit tight, Jack. We'll have you sorted quick enough.
She is probably the most lifelike human I have ever seen in VR. It is
Module M201.
very odd.
Your EVA pack allows you to boost forward in the direction you are looking. Use your boost to reach the console ahead.
Ooh. Right.
Yes, Echo One? What is it that you need? Well done. Please press the hollow button to continue. Now boost to the end of the hull before the walls close in on you. Multiple boosts may be required.
I have a boost button. Should we try that again?
Recalibrating program. Boost to
Oh.
the end of the hull without touching the walls. Try multiple boosts if you are having trouble.
Whee! It's not the button I wanted. Whoa! Oh.
Excellent. Calibration module complete.
Do, do, do. Do, do, do.
Module M116. Braking thrusters.
Braking thrusters.
This module will calibrate your braking thrusters, which allow you to stop in place without grabbing any surfaces. You will continue to slow down for as long as you hold your braking thrusters.
And what
We'll
are they?
practice this in the room ahead. Please meet me there to continue. There are 2 target zones in this room. Please boost into one of the zones and hold your braking thrusters until you come to a full stop. Success! Now use your braking thrusters to stop inside target zone B. Calibration module complete. Please stand by.
Yeah. Cool.
Module J101. Data interfaces. Your new body is capable of equipping multiple tools. In addition to your cutter, you now also have a data link. With it, you can interact with data ports around the station to activate objects or download information. Tap the button under your wrist to open the tool selection interface. Now, grab and pull the data link icon with your other hand. Good. This tool allows you to interact with data ports throughout the station. You can also activate your cutter on your other hand, if you need to use both tools simultaneously. To proceed, move to the data port above the door ahead, and use your data link to activate it.
Don't know why I'm flipping myself off.
Please use your data link tool on the data port above the door.
My data link tool.
Well done. Please proceed to the room ahead.
Okay.
Some data ports will activate systems throughout the station. Others will allow you to retrieve useful information from the station systems. In this room, you can find a floating data tile and an observation drone. Scan their data ports to proceed. Excellent. Now, download the data from the data tile to proceed. Calibration module complete. Please stand by.
Okay. Fair enough.
Welcome back to the real world, Jack.
Before you go, I'd like to make use of your new data link. Captain Rhodes?
Right.
What is this?
A data tile, left behind by one of the station's scientists. I'd like to see if your scanner can access the information stored inside.
All right, well, you heard the lady.
Go on and give it a scan. Are you pretending to hold a weapon? Ah, interesting.
What was on it?
Research notes on the biomass.
Anything useful?
A list of genetic markers shared between the different biomass forms. That could prove most useful. Jack, if you find any more devices with data ports like this one, be sure to scan them and transmit your findings to me.
Will do.
I've also added a new data tab to your ARM computer to track what we've recovered.
How much data was lost?
We don't actually have any way of knowing, but finding more will almost undoubtedly be beneficial towards developing a cure, even if only in a small way.
Understood.
Anything else, Juno?
That should be all for now.
Come on out then, Jack.
Juno, do you read?
Yes, Doctor?
I need you back here to help me pass the FTL's output data. And bring Captain Rhodes with you. I could use her insight as well.
We've nearly finished prepping Jack for departure.
He's still here? I could have built an entirely new generator by now. Get him out of the airlock and then get up here.
You weren't exaggerating. This Dr. Harlan is quite irritable.
Try not to be too hard on him. He has good reason.
It sounds like there's something I should know.
Juno? Tell him.
Tell me what?
Dr. Harlan is infected.
What?
I didn't notice any biomass infection.
His infection is internal, a result of breathing in microparticles of the biomass. Though we have managed to slow the infection's progress using various treatments developed here at the facility, I fear the doctor may be approaching the final stages of his infection.
What happens if he doesn't develop a cure in time?
I'm guessing that very question is what's making him so irritable.
I hope this might help you better understand why Dr. Harlan is the way he is. His entire life, he's only ever had one goal: eliminate the biomass, preserve what's left of humanity. Thanks to you, for the first time in, well, quite a while, we appear to be making progress.
Whatever I can do to help.
You can start by restoring the generator.
Lead on.
Cycling the airlock now.
Stop looking at me. You're freaking me out, woman.
Ready to depart. Part seal. Ready to cycle.
Wait a second, Juno. Jack, listen. There's something else.
Captain Rhodes, maybe now isn't the best time.
I'm not about to send him out there with only half the story.
Liv, what is it?
You remember on the Estrella, when you saved my life by repressurizing the bridge.
Okay.
Liv, what are you saying?
The oxygen that flooded into the bridge was contaminated. Dr. Harlan's already run a test to confirm. The infection's in my system.
No.
Jack, listen to me. The contaminants were microscopic. There was no way you could have known.
No, I cleared the vents.
Yes, you did. And if you hadn't, I'd have been dead almost instantly.
Are you alright? Are you experiencing any pain?
No, I'm fine. I'm not feeling any effects at all.
Currently, the captain's infection is dormant. It takes time, often years, for the biomass to shut down the human body. What's more, her particular strain of the infection is less aggressive than Dr. Harlan's, perhaps due to her having acquired it in the past.
The best thing we can do right now, the only thing, is help Dr. Harlan develop his cure. We do that, all our problems are solved.
Technically, not all of them. You'll still be stuck in the wrong time.
Yes. Thank you, Juno. Get to the generator. Stabilize the power grid. Hopefully, by then, we'll have come up with an idea for what's next.
Okay.
Whatever you need me to do, I'll take care of it.
I know you will. Now off you go. Good luck.
Commencing depressurization.
No pressure then.
Depressurization complete.
Exiting airlock. How do I reach the generator?
The generator facility should be just up ahead as you exit.
Copy that.
Probably that thing with the red.
I'll mark the destination for you.
Juno, pull the FTL's output log, starting a few minutes back from the accident.
What are you looking for?
If your android is right and the FTL accident really did create a temporal anomaly, then we should see clear evidence of the event in the output data. FTL drives don't normally rip open tunnels through time.
Oh. I've crashed the game. This thing is buggy. Quite buggy. But I suppose that because I'm using it on a I'm not using it on an Oculus, then it might be the plugin that's screwing up. Well, I had a number of crashes in the last one, so... I just wish the menu button wasn't very close to all the other buttons. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to hit it by accident at a very inopportune moment. I mean, even in the setup options for display, it's got like...
Commencing depressurization.
Stop looking at me like that, woman. Even in the display options.
Depressurization complete.
Exiting airlock. How do I reach the generator?
The generator facility should be just up ahead as you exit.
Copy that.
A bit of inopportune loading
I'll mark
there.
the destination for you.
Juno, pull the FTL's output log, starting a few minutes back from the accident.
What are you looking for?
If your android is right and the FTL accident really did create a
Bonk.
temporal anomaly, then we should see clear evidence of the event in the output data. FTL drives don't normally rip open tunnels through time.
Not according to our experience.
Guess we're just lucky.
Maybe not. Juno, show us readings from the moment the ticks made contact with the drive. This resonance. The FTL shouldn't be creating a displacement with this signature and nowhere near this magnitude.
Then it's the biomass. Has to be. It's causing some sort of reaction in the drive.
We'll need to run some simulations.
Let's get to it then. Jack, we'll be on standby.
Acknowledged. I've located the entrance.
Unfortunately, it seems the airlock is offline, most likely due to the power failure. An alternate access method will be required.
Does that mean there's another way in?
Station blueprints show an access hatch on the facility's exterior. Look for a small rectangular hatch with a red cover.
Copy that. I'll take a look outside.
Access hatch. Exterior vent access. Maintenance. Could it be that? Well, it's not that, is it? Might be around the other side. It's pointing this way. Oh, you mean that thing? Oh.
Access hatch located. Looks like I'll have to cut my way in.
With the generator's interior in a vacuum state, it should be safe to use your cutter here. Explosive decompression will not be an issue.
Copy that.
Oh, oh. Steady, steady.
I'm inside the facility. What's next?
The main problem is almost certainly the reactor. It's a large cylindrical structure in the facility's central chamber. The access way will take you there, though additional cutting may be required. But please, try to avoid damaging our former workplace too heavily.
Juno.
Wait, you two used to work here?
Juno and I were part of the station's biomass research team.
So you were here during the outbreak?
No, I had taken leave to pursue my theory for eliminating the biomass. By the time I returned, it was too late. There was no one left.
My God, Harlan.
Captain, please. We have work to do.
Bonk.
Reactor located.
Great. How's it look?
Not well. I'm seeing smoke, likely from an internal malfunction.
That explains the power outage.
And the life support failure.
Right, better open it up, Jack. See what's going on in there.
Generator is locked. Left lever. Right lever.
I'm opening the casing for a closer look at the reactor.
Copy that.
Malfunction confirmed. A bad reactor core.
You'll need replacements to get the reactor running again, Jack. The facility contains a storage area that might be worth investigating.
Thanks, Juno. The reactor has quite the unique shape. An icosahedrocahedron. For optimal power flow, I assume.
Correct. The reactor's quasi-regular orthogonality allows for nearly flawless energy management.
Good enough state to work, though, right?
Yes, the malfunction appears to be temporary. Install a complete set of operational cores, and the reactor should resume normal functionality.
Okay. Well, sounds like you two have got things handled.
Copy that.
There's one over there.
A fully charged core. Hopefully, still able to make clean contact with the reactor.
Let's hope. Alright.
Now simply rotate the core clockwise until it stops turning.
Core's locked in.
Excellent.
Nice. Now all I have to do is go find the other one. So that's glass there, so we're not going through. Okay. I have a feeling, am I able to open that door? That's where we came in. Well, that's where we're going to go out, I think.
This data tile appears to still be intact.
Despite their small size, data tiles make for excellent external storage. I advise scanning it so that we can retrieve its contents. Scan successful. Interesting. Shortly before the outbreak, the engineers developed a means of optimizing the power flow of the reactor. Jack, if you can find more data on this, I may be able to adapt these principles to your integrated cutter.
How much more data?
Uncertain. Without possessing the actual data, it's impossible to measure its size. Nonetheless, I've made an entry in the data tab on your ARM computer. I anticipate only a few more scans will be required, though.
Acknowledged. I'll keep watch for more data ports.
Supply rack.
Empty racks here. Were they running low on supplies?
Negative. However, among the facility's final logs are inventory requests of unusually high quantities. I presume anyone who managed to escape the station must have brought the supplies with them.
Let's hope such was the case. Must have been a horrid scramble.
Nice work, Jack. Much of the data here will prove useful in augmenting your cutter. Unfortunately, we will need more to complete the design. But I did find something that might be of interest. A voice memo from the station's chief engineer regarding the technology. I've added it to your ARM computer's data tab, Jack.
Let's have a look then, shall we? I don't know why my thing is.
Hey everyone, I wanted to send a quick update to just our team before the news goes wide. We did it. As of about 6 minutes ago, we flipped the switch on the new reaction management system. We're seeing a stable 72% increase in outflow with a rate of almost 90%. For those keeping score, that's 12% above projections. Hell of a job, everyone. This will save lives.
Okay. What else we got in there? Bonk. Oh, you can move it. Vega OS. Vega OS. Okay.
The reactor still needs repairing, Jack. The storage area may contain suitable replacement cores.
I'm searching, woman.
I'll probably have to cut my way through from the other side.
Okay. Well, there's nothing in that supply rack. Oh, I think I've crashed it again. It's going to be a long game if this keeps happening. I was hoping I might be able to turn off the floor. But it doesn't look like I can. Can I just continue? Where's my hands? Where's my hands? Why haven't I got any hands? I mean, it's a pity that this is Oculus only, to be perfectly honest. Because this is probably the best simulation of hands I've ever used. Oh, shit. Best use of hands I've ever had in a...
Reactor located.
Great. How's it look?
Not well. I'm seeing smoke, likely from an internal malfunction.
That explains the power outage.
And the life support failure.
Right, better open it up, Jack. See what's going on in there.
I kept meaning to actually turn that off. There we go. Oop.
I'm opening the casing for a closer look at the reactor.
Copy that.
A fully charged core. Might be useful if I can find a proper receptacle for it.
Bonk.
The reactor appears mostly intact, other than a missing part or two.
Good enough state to work though, right?
Yes, the malfunction appears to be temporary. Install a complete set of operational cores, and the reactor should resume normal functionality.
Okay. Well, sounds like you two have got things handled.
Copy that. A bad reactor core.
You'll need replacements to get the reactor running again, Jack.
Nice. Oop. Ah! Wrong way around.
Now simply rotate the core clockwise until it stops turning.
Core is locked in.
Excellent.
Okay. Do, 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 do. See, that's where the other one is. And we're going to go through there.
This access hatch could provide a way into the storage area, but some of the bolts are outside my cutter's range.
We might be able to do something about that, actually. From the few logs I've been able to access, I believe the generator's staff were working on improving the reactor's efficiency. If we can recover data on their efforts, I may be able to adapt that technology to improve the range of your cutter. Look around for any equipment containing a data port.
Copy that, Juno. I found a device in the storage area.
A network terminal. It may still be connected. Scan its port with your data link to attempt a data transfer. Scan successful. It's as I expected. They were working on optimizing the power flow of the reactor. With more data on this, I should be able to adapt the concept to your integrated cutter.
How much more data?
Uncertain. Without possessing the actual data, it's impossible to measure its size. Nonetheless, I've made an entry in the data tab on your ARM computer. I anticipate only a few more scans will be required, though.
Acknowledged. I'll keep watch for more data ports. Empty racks here. Were they running low on supplies?
Negative. However, among the facility's final logs are inventory requests of unusually high quantities. I presume anyone who managed to escape the station must have brought the supplies with them.
Let's hope such was the case. Must have been a horrid scramble.
I always forget to turn on my torch. Always forget to turn on my torch.
I'll probably have to cut my way through from the other side.
probably means... Ooh. Ow. Not exactly comfortable wearing this BPM monitor, but... Didn't notice the door was open there. Can I actually squeeze through? Is that cheating? I'm guessing so. It is the right tool. Yeah. There's no way I can get through there. Because I can't pull the door apart. What else we got?
Jack, devices with a data port may contain data we can use to create your cutter improvement. Simply enable your data link tool, then scan the port. Nice work, Jack. Much of the data here will prove useful in augmenting your cutter. Unfortunately, we will need more to complete the design. But I did find something that might be of interest. A voice memo from the station's chief engineer regarding the technology. I've added it to your ARM computer's data tab, Jack.
Hey everyone, I wanted to send a quick update to just our team before the news goes wide. We did it. As of about 6 minutes ago, we flipped the switch on the new reaction management system. We're seeing a stable 72% increase in outflow with a peak at almost 90%. For those keeping score, that's 12% above projections. Hell of a job, everyone. This will save lives.
Can I squeeze through there? Don't need to. Right, there's a fabricator there, which means something bad's gonna happen.
Some type of local data storage?
Correct. Insert enough of them into a database terminal, and the terminal's data port will become available to scan.
Is that right? Oop.
This database terminal runs off of cartridges. Unusual.
Backup data storage, in case of power loss. For it to function properly, all the cartridges must be installed.
Well, I always blow on them first for luck. But each to their own.
I'm afraid your shell isn't equipped with an apparatus appropriate for that operation. Good news, Jack. With the data you just collected, I expect we need only one more scan to complete the design.
Juno, I need you to run the math on these sim parameters.
Yes, Doctor.
Dr. Harlan, why did you have to leave the station? There seems to be plenty of biomass.
That is all highly evolved. I need the base genetic material, and that can only be found in an undetonated biomass torpedo. There's nothing more I could do from here.
Right. Then what brought you back? Did you know the station had...
I'm sorry, Captain Rhodes, but we do not have time for me to recount my entire life story. I was here. I lived. And when I came back, everyone was dead or gone.
All right. Fine.
Why don't I simply compile an archive of the logs covering our time away from the station? That way the captain can review them at her leisure.
If you must, but after you've finished verifying the sim parameters.
Very well. I will let you know when I've finished, Captain.
Thanks, Juno.
This drone's power appears to be depleted.
There should be an induction charger nearby. Simply insert the drone to replenish its power. Once it finishes charging, we should be able to access its data port.
An observation drone. What is it observing?
I noticed these when we first arrived in this timeline. Some kind of massive processing structure. It's capturing Saturn's atmosphere.
Correct. They're known as autonomous atmospheric harvesters. They process hydrogen and helium from Saturn, inject it into containers, and then jettison those containers outward for retrieval. The minimal contact reduces the risk of biomass infection.
It's like the Kronos 5000 or something.
Sorry?
I mean, it might be what our job would have turned into. It's a bit more impressive than extracting helium from ice cubes like we did, but it's basically where our work was headed.
Excellent. That did indeed provide sufficient data. Just give me a moment to process everything. Stand by. Schematic complete. Please head to the nearest fabricator so we can install the improvement to your cutter.
What's this unknown switch?
A rather prominent location for a manual interface.
Those are the distribution controls, Jack. They'll eventually direct power to every facility in Chiron Station. The reactor will need to be activated before this console will work.
Acknowledged.
Okay. Do do do. In we go.
Integration successful. Your shell's reactive cutter has been refitted with extended range and efficiency.
Well done, Juno.
The pleasure was mine. And please, restrict cutting to non-critical equipment.
It seems to have got a bit darker in here. I mean, it's as if it's only just
Open the hatch leading to the storage area.
in range.
The area should now be accessible through the maintenance duct below.
It's buoy. It's strange seeing my legs like that. But
Captain, I've finished compiling the log data you requested.
Great, can you pass it to my ARM computer, Juno? Actually, best send it to Jack as well.
Of course. Jack, I've added it to your data tab.
Wow, this is some archive.
It was an illuminating expedition. I took the liberty of segmenting the log entries. Feel free to review them at your own pace.
If you two have finished, I've input the parameters for the next sim.
Of course, Doctor.
thought there might be hidden stuff in the supply racks. But maybe not. Alright, we're going to take this highly dangerous thing take it back. There we go. Right, so what direction did it go in? It was that direction, wasn't
it? Second core installed.
Acknowledged. Please visit one of the nearby consoles to bring the reactor back online.
The reactor is back online.
The power hasn't returned here on the ship yet.
Jack, power still needs to be distributed from here to the ship, as well as the rest of the station. The console you saw in the control room should now allow you to perform this final step.
Okay. I'm guessing that means we need to go back down where we were. Yeah. Out. Right on the nuts. You can hear the power now. Oof. Sorry. Oh, I thought we were coming through here. Maybe not. Such a dumbass. Where was it again? It wasn't through there. It was the other side. It was over here. Maintenance. Probably this then.
Distribution console primed and ready to deliver power to the station.
Roger that. Let her rip, Jack.
Distribution complete. Power grid stabilized. Life support systems optimal.
Well done, Jack. We're getting full...
Woo!
How is progress on your end?
Dr. Harlan's still running sims, but I think we at least have a working theory.
All the models we've run so far appear to confirm biomass interaction with an active FTL triggers an abnormal buildup of energy within the drive, resulting in the formation of a temporal anomaly.
For reasons we still don't fully understand.
It is also unclear why the accident only caused the android's software to travel through time, as opposed to the more physical time jumps we've observed with the Astrea. But at this point, I'm willing to accept these ambiguities and proceed.
Wait, what exactly are you saying?
We must try it again.
What, send Jack back in time again? You've got to be kidding me.
It's the only way. Any chance we have of eliminating the biomass lies with finding an undetonated torpedo. We must send the android back.
You talk like he's expendable.
Now, of course he is. All of us are. You've seen how it spreads. Eradicating the biomass is going to take everything we have, and then some.
Yeah, well, it's not just up to you, is it? Jack, what do you think?
Dangerous or not, the potential lives saved makes it worth trying.
That's an awfully big risk.
You would do the same were the roles reversed.
And you would probably try to talk me out of it too.
Would I succeed?
Fine. I'm in. What do we need to do next?
We're going to have to recreate the circumstances of the time travel accident.
Oh, don't tell me.
We're going to need biomass. Contained biomass samples specifically. The research facility should serve our purposes nicely.
There is one other problem. The FTL accident depleted the drive's fuel cells, and we don't have the supplies to refill them.
Then our best bet for a fuel cell will be the remnants of the Astrea. However, exploring that area may be difficult. Pesky shipboard defense protocols somehow remain active. Something off with the AI, Juno says.
Could be just as dangerous as dealing with the biomass, really. Well, Jack, what's up first? Grab some creepy crawlies from the research facility? Or dig up a fuel cell for the FTL drive?
I'll collect our biomass samples first.
Though no longer operational, there is a tram line leading from the central transit hub out to the research facility.
Understood.
So when Jack eventually returns with these volatile materials, where exactly do we plan to store them?
I believe I can convert elements of the refueling depot to suit our needs.
Need a hand?
Why, yes, Captain. Your assistance would be most appreciated.
Anything's better than just sitting here. Come on, Popcorn. Let's get ready to head out. Good luck.
Popcorn!
See you soon.
Raise in emergency. You gotta explore everything just in case. Ooh. Pew pew. Nothing in the drawers. Hardly worth coming in here. I suppose I should go to that place that says exit on it. Listen to the audio logs.
Seizing faster than light travel in 3, 2, 1. FTL jump complete. We're approximately 450,000 kilometers from Earth.
Perfect. Bring us in slow and begin long-range scans.
Of course, Doctor. For the scan criteria, shall I use the same parameters as those when we examined the Kronos remnants? Or perhaps from the wreckage of the unknown vessel?
Both. And factor in the fleet's travel time. Kronos incident. Plus 4 months.
I already have. Beginning sweep.
And now, we wait. There has to be at least one torpedo left. Somewhere in that mess.
This equipment is some form of dock or buoy?
Affirmative. It's one of the station's charging docks. They're set up to facilitate recharging and navigation for the various drones deployed here. Though it is worth noting that the Doctor and I have redeployed several pieces of equipment as well. Fortunately, with the generator repaired, we should be able to restore most of the equipment throughout the station by scanning their data ports.
Understood.
Claire, you damn idiot.
Analysis complete.
And?
Negative. Shall I broaden our search criteria?
No.
Approaching the Astrea now.
These parameters will be too far removed. If any fuel cells are still intact, they'd probably be deeper within the wreckage. And Unfortunately, everything beyond the bridge is steeped in radiation, and the ship's AI is just making matters worse.
The ship's AI? Do you mean Apollo?
Oh, you're familiar.
Apollo was the ship's tactical AI. He was instrumental in helping us survive our first encounter with the biomass.
I just hope he's still online.
Considering my difficulties exploring here, he must be.
Then if we can make contact with Apollo, he can probably help us find the fuel cell we need.
Guess it's time to say hello to our old friend.
Roger that. Heading to the bridge. All this scaffolding. Dr. Harlan, were you attempting to repair the bridge?
I was stabilizing it so I could investigate. It would have become a salvage operation had the ship's AI not shut down all my equipment. With my equipment offline, the radiation there has made it impossible to work.
Not to worry, Dr. Harlan. Apollo will listen to us.
I seriously doubt it.
A downed cargo drone. Some of your equipment, Dr. Harlan.
Correct. Incapacitated by the ship's AI, best I can tell.
Why would Apollo do that?
He did mention serving as a tactical AI. It's possible Apollo has activated some security measures around his ship.
Isn't that perfect?
Well, I'm sure you can convince him to help us out, Jack. We did before.
Juno, this is incredible. Juno, this is incredible. Coming here was an excellent idea.
Dr. Harlan, I must again insist that you return to the ship. Conditions here are not conducive to...
No, listen to this. The ship that destroyed the Kronos 2 was called the Astrea. It was an Atlas vessel from the future. Do you have any idea what this means? The implications are staggering.
Doctor, please. Now that you have established an uplink, I am quite capable of extracting these archives. I would much rather you peruse them from the safety of the Argos.
Yes, just another minute, Juno. Look here. They learned all this from a partially functional adjutant they found aboard the ship.
Partially functional does not suggest a high degree of credibility.
They ran metrics. Anyway, it seems once they linked it to a diagnostic terminal, it made rapid progress through the firewalls and exhaustively pored over the data stores.
How polite.
At which point it concluded that because the vessel, the Astrea, had been displaced in time, the activation of its auxiliary drive bay had partially reversed that displacement.
I am unsure what that means, Doctor.
Yes. It seems that several hours after the vessel arrived here, there was an enormous burst of energy. And then half the ship disappeared instantaneously, just as suddenly as it had arrived. And this adjutant concluded that disappearance corresponded with activating the auxiliary drive bay, thereby sending half the vessel back to its original space-time coordinates. Saturn
Jack,
orbit
if you're attempting to locate the ship's AI,
37.
the bridge would be a logical place to start.
Do you know what this means?
That you should return to the Argos at once?
Yes, I'll head back now. But prepare us to return to Chiron Station. The Astrea could reappear in as little as 15 months from now. We need to prepare for its arrival. If we are in luck, it will still have undetonated torpedo in its hull.
Of course, Doctor. Now please be careful making your way back to the airlock.
I did say something about a tram. There's an airlock there.
Juno, status.
Multiple impacts. No discernible hull breaches yet. The station appears to have absorbed the brunt of it. Habitat B has...
Forget the station. It's a lost cause.
Understood. Drones are responding. The situation is normalizing, but the vessel still appears highly unstable.
That's not surprising, given what it's been through. Begin scanning immediately. I don't want to lose our chance of finding the torpedo.
Of course, Doctor. Patrol drones are inbound making their pass now. Doctor, we have detected a human life sign.
Survivor?
It appears so. Shall I make contact?
Yes. And do what you can to make this transition easy for them. I'm sure they must be disoriented.
Indeed. I'll use the data we obtained on Luna to formulate an appropriate response.
Good. What about the torpedoes?
I'm still sweeping the wreckage. Nothing as of yet.
We should prioritize the rescue anyway. Survivor from another timeline. But only one. What they must have seen.
Doctor, I've made contact. The survivor is one Captain Olivia Rhodes.
That name? Where have I heard?
That was, or rather is, the name of the Kronos 2 captain.
From when the Astrea first arrived.
Indeed. Her speech patterns are a 99.7% identical match with those from the distress signal we recovered from the Atlas logs. It appears she was not killed in the destruction of the Kronos 2 after all.
So she's from our past, then?
I believe so, yes.
Then, well, she won't be able to help us. Is Habitat A intact?
It is, yes.
Move her then. Once I finish developing the cure, we can figure out what to do next.
Shall I inform her of...
No, too much to explain, and we don't have time for distractions. She'll be in the dark for a few days at most, but her new surroundings will be an easier pill to swallow when we have a cure in hand.
Understood, Doctor. There also appears to be an operational android with her. Shall I?
Yes, fine. As soon as they're safe, begin the salvage operation. We need one of those torpedoes. Perhaps we can obtain information from the bridge of this vessel as well.
Bonk. It kind of looked like a shuttle, but just didn't want to warp all the way over there. This is where I first came out, I think. Yeah. Let's have a look over here. They did say things about scanning stuff, so... Is that Liv over there? Or was that a drone? Recharge socket. Well, that's where the fuel cells got to go. Is that Liv? I guess so. Charging dock. Bonk. So I'm wondering if I can actually take control of one of these.
Analyzing. It appears optimizations were being tested on this cargo drone's maneuvering thrusters. Assuming other drones were testing similar optimizations, scanning their data ports should allow me to reverse engineer the concept and apply it to your own maneuvering thrusters, making them more energy efficient.
Copy that. I'll see what I can do.
Excellent. I'll add a tracker to your data tab. Good find, Jack. There's a bit of data in there we can apply toward developing a cure for the biomass.
Automatically recharges when not in use. Cool. Well, I did want to use a shuttle, but I'm just going to go over there myself. Now, here's the thing about this game is that it's very chilled. Well, mostly. And it kind of simulates what space might be like when you're outside. You don't get a lot of... It's all muffled and... But they definitely didn't kind of rest on them kind of saying, well, you know, the first one was fine, so we will just make a version 2 which is exactly the same. They've kind of pushed the tech a bit further. Because I mean, I'm running a 3080. And it's still struggling at certain points. So, but it's very clever the way that they've optimized some of the stuff. Oh Jesus! My legs scared the crap out of me. I'm assuming that those two things there are what are where we're going, because I know the objective is at the entrance over here, but the chances of us going in there are remote. Oh shit. Didn't realise that there was little beasties. Is there one over there I can scan? Keep forgetting I've got to be Iron Man. I don't know why my right arm is not as long as my left arm. There's some tracking problems going on here.
Archive recovered. Experimental optimizations present. I'll need more data though.
Copy that.
Damn it. I wanted to catch a ride. That would have been cool. Transportation.
You're approaching the biomass research facility. This is where the outbreak originated.
We're sure there's some contained biomass on hand for Jack to retrieve.
Logs indicate 1 or 2 containers should still be in storage. However, reaching them may be difficult due to the entire facility being under lockdown.
The tram entrance will undoubtedly be your only way in.
Acknowledged. The facility appears to be in fairly poor condition. But there is at least some power flowing.
due to the generator being restored.
Unfortunately, I'm still unable to access any systems further into the facility. Power flow stops at the entry terminal. It appears that the systems are outright disconnected, including the physical entry bridge. Jack, you'll need to reconnect those systems to gain entry to the facility.
Copy that. There's a room jutting into this cave. Could it be part of the biomass containment area?
Negative. The room you're seeing is part of the facility's integrity monitoring system, responsible for tracking any changes in the asteroid structure during excavation. For safety reasons, biomass containment is located much deeper in the facility.
This device looks vaguely similar to the cranes we saw in the transit hub.
Good eye, Jack. That's because it's an early version of the stasis field technology used by those cranes, as well as our cargo drones and many other systems. As you can imagine, the ability to manipulate objects without direct contact has significant advantages when dealing with the biomass.
This appears to be some sort of focusing device. I haven't seen anything like it elsewhere on Chiron Station.
It's actually a prototype of the technology our containment units use to keep Dix pacified.
As in the technology that shorted out while Jack and I were trapped in the engineering bay.
Yes, though that was due to the power cycling abnormally. I assure you, it's usually quite stable.
Yeah, one would hope.
A scale model of the FTL drive on Dr. Harlan's ship. Was the drive developed here?
Not exactly. While the few FTL drives still in service were refitted here, the original design was actually reverse-engineered from the FTL drives left behind aboard the Estrella. That was done by your former employer, in fact.
Wait, Atlas built them?
Indeed. Before the company dissolved, of course.
So Atlas reverse-engineered their own technology from the future?
Technically, yes.
Ah, how perfectly normal and not at all confusing.
It seems someone was emphatic about maintaining the lockdown.
That console would have controlled the bridge leading into the main facility.
I assumed.
I'm not seeing any backup controls in the blueprints, unfortunately. It's possible the cave contains systems not listed in the schematics. It may be worth a quick investigation.
This bridge is currently disconnected, as part of the lockdown procedures.
Correct. The doors won't open until both sides of the bridge are fully extended.
Did they get everyone out?
According to these logs...
No. Not everyone got out.
That's not suspicious at all.
I believe this is a manual activation switch.
It should restore power to the immediate area, as well as the rest of the research facility. Just keep in mind that you'll also be awakening any dormant biomass within.
Okay. So we've only really got one way to go. We're being shoehorned over here to excavation A. I wanted to do the kind of the scary bit first because it's scary. mean, this is lit up, so authorized personnel only.
These are auxiliary controls for the extension bridges.
Correct, but they're currently inoperable. The power conduit extending from the entrance to the main facility has been retracted, likely an attempt to contain the biomass spread. To restore power to the extension mechanisms, you will need to re-engage the power conduit to cross the gap.
Understood. I will locate and re-engage the conduit. Perhaps that switch I saw near the extension bridge.
Re-establishing main generator connection. Be advised, Class 3 power fields will become active. Dormancy will be nullified.
Hey, Jack. I know you've got this as always, but by restoring power, we're undoing something that was put in place as a die-hard safety precaution.
We're certain this is the only place we're going to find a contained biomass?
Assuming these fragmented station logs are correct? Yes.
Well, that's reassuring.
Juno, are any of the station's X3 units still active?
Not exactly. My records indicate...
Finalizing connection.
Connection established. Now receiving power readings throughout the facility. Jack, once you have the bridge fully extended, you should be able to access the facility proper. Though I suspect some areas may have additional security requirements.
Nora, the research director would have done everything she could to contain the outbreak. But there is no containing it. This was an eventuality.
It's fortunate that your disagreement over priorities led you to be elsewhere when the outbreak occurred.
It's only fortunate if I'm right.
Bridge extension initiated.
Oh, that's not comfortable.
Bridge reconnection complete.
I'm heading back to the entry terminal.
Dr. Harlan, if these power readings are accurate, our suspicions appear confirmed.
What's that now? What suspicions?
Educated guess, rather.
Which is different how?
The ticks aren't the only form of biomass that have been evolving since your time.
Great,
Oh, dear.
so what's this one do? Open doors?
Quite the opposite, in fact.
It's best if you see for yourselves.
So the wait and find out approach.
I'm crossing into the main facility now.
Copy that, Jack.
Whee! I'm just gonna punch it. Restart point. No, don't want it. I don't know where it went, but I chucked it out. Not in the airlock now. Holy jeez. There's someone up there that was the last in, I guess. Two main lobby.
Biomass has taken hold here.
Given that it got this far, the rest of the facility will likely be much worse.
Will the fabricator still be operational?
Yes, at least enough that Jack should be able to reboot without issue.
In the security control room, I found a casualty.
According to logs, Adler Reyes.
He must have been trying to keep the scanners running to prevent the biomass from leaving the facility.
But if someone failed to scan...
They would have had to remain behind. Unfortunately, even the scanning room itself became contaminated.
You think that's how it spread to the rest of the station?
Most likely. With background contamination, the system would have had a difficult time producing accurate results. Inevitably, it failed.
Jack, you are now entering the facility's lobby. Biomass containment is located through the leftmost door.
That one? But what? What is through security? I have a feeling some of these probably need to be closed. Did I just go round in a circle? Oh, security is where I came from. Duh. It's the medical wing I want to try and go to. What's the medical wing and why is it unlocked? Well, it doesn't look like it's open at the end there, so I'm not going to go all the way along there to find out that it's not bloody open.
Shields at 95%. Shields at
Ah!
90%.
Ah! Ah! I accidentally boosted into it. That wasn't my plan.
This must be the evolved biomass form Dr. Harlan mentioned. It detects my presence, much like the other specimens encountered thus far.
We classify it as a reticulated B biomass organism, but most people just call them webs.
Aside from their namesake membrane, webs can also be recognized by an additional nodule. It should be quite distinct.
What's this?
Oh, and Jack, that distinct nodule I mentioned? Think of it as a sensor. If it detects you, it will stimulate the web's expansion reflex. Just something to keep in mind as you explore the station.
What is this?
There's some kind of added security here.
Dr. Everett Harlan reporting. Authorized laboratory access.
Voice-activated authorization. That's a smart security feature.
Thank you. And you're welcome.
I found another casualty. In the lobby.
Dr. Brianna Leamington.
She was one of our pathologists.
Not sure why I need this, but I'm going to take it with me. There's a switch there.
biological specimens.
The director was always in here. Dissecting, testing. She was tireless.
She must have had a cast iron stomach.
One of the toughest people I have ever known.
What sort of research were they doing here?
The director was convinced the cure was impractical. So she poured everything into containment technology.
Did she have any luck?
When I left, she had everyone working on miniaturizing the insulation cloaking from our containment unit. I'm not sure how far they got.
I'm guessing that's my clue.
I assume these microscopes were used to observe the biomass?
I believe so, yes.
Development of the biomass containment technology required research at the macro, micro, and even nanoscopic scales.
With these microscopes, the researchers would have been able to observe the effect of their containment technology in real time, with a more manageable sample size, of course.
It must have been a heavy responsibility to work so closely with live biomass samples.
It was not without its risks.
So, would you say it was more or less risky than intentionally infecting your own FTL drive?
If you have any less precarious solutions, Captain, I'm all yes.
Ah! I've lost it. Or was that for the microscope? That's for the microscope. Access offline.
These controls are running some sort of automated procedure.
The system is no longer reachable over the network. Cut off by the biomass, no doubt. It must be an old test, abandoned during the outbreak and resumed now that we've restored power.
This web is preventing me from further exploring the labs. Perhaps there's something in this lab that could help. The glass is broken. I'm afraid your former workplace has seen better days, Doctor.
External spread was what breached the chamber.
Seems to me the entire facility became one giant test chamber.
And that too was breached.
Have I got to do something with that?
Is this some type of emitter?
It looks to be a functional prototype. I knew they were close, but I didn't know they had moved into practical testing. The basic concept was to surround the biomass with a cloak of electromagnetic insulation, preventing energy from reaching it.
Kind of like using a blanket to smother a flame.
Indeed. The idea was to build these cloak emitters as a reactive defense against the biomass, to contain it.
I can see a wide range of applications. It's
a store-led based, not a solution. I wish she could have seen that.
I wonder if they moved this prototype into production.
Even if they did, it clearly wasn't enough to stop an outbreak. This is why we need a cure.
not sure what this bit is. Oh, that's just gonna...
Such versatile technology.
And it still wasn't enough.
Okay. Can I...
Biomass at the exit neutralized.
It's possible I failed to foresee some of the cloaking-eater's eventual implications.
Sounds like your research director was on the right track.
Laura. She never gave up. I could hardly ever pull her away from her work.
Dr. Harlan, if I may interject, the local data I'm seeing implies that the director's efforts to develop cloak emitters proceeded beyond prototyping. Portable versions were installed in some of the X3 medtech shells. Several of these shells appear to have been left behind in the medical wing.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
I believe it may be possible to fit Jack with a similar device, a portable cloak emitter.
What is involved?
I'll need you to retrieve the data from one of the medtech shells here. With that, I should be able to reconstruct the portable cloak emitter's design.
Copy that. I'll see what I can find. These medical beds were used for diagnostic scans?
And to monitor potential treatments. Many of my peers focused on post-diagnosis options.
What sort of options?
Pain management, transmission reduction. Though most patients with terminal diagnosis volunteered for cure research.
Wait. There are diagnoses that aren't terminal.
If the infection is limited to the extremities and has not yet penetrated the epidermis, amputation has a roughly 40% success rate.
In emergencies, the integrated cutter, equipped by several models of the X3 shell, including Jack's, can...
No. That's enough. Forget I asked.
This log indicates a multitude of visitors. Some were children.
Yes. Many of the station's personnel had families. Most of their children were suitably behaved. Some were not. Still, I hope they reached safety.
Interesting. Well, I got the data tile there. Did that give me anything? Moving first. So they're upgrades, basically. That's what it's saying, man. Guess. Right, so where did we come from? That way.
I'll need to manually open this door. I assume it was shut down as another precaution?
Most likely. If the medtech shells have data we can use to reconstruct a portable cloak emitter, it will be worth the risk.
can see all of the androids trying to save the...
I'm entering the medical lab.
Doctor, perhaps you should step away for a moment. I'm sure there's still plenty of output data to parse before we're ready to initiate the experiment.
She's here, isn't she? Juno?
More than likely. Yes.
Who? The research director?
I can handle it, Juno.
Are you certain?
I'm not looking away.
That's probably her in there then, isn't it?
Who was this person?
Dr. Franklin Teller. A fellow geneticist.
You knew him?
I knew all of them.
I found another casualty of the biomass. This researcher seems to have been helping the other one.
Dr. Adriana Lay.
She was too young for this.
Multi-organ failure. Well, that's not good. Oh, there's a data thing there.
Oh, God.
A researcher, one of our anesthesiologists. It's an impossible task. Alleviating the pain of an infection, especially in later stages.
Yeah. I can imagine.
I've recovered her research. It also seems she received a message from Dr. McKenna with all of his access codes attached. Would you like me to play it?
Affirmative.
Beginning playback.
Hey, Adriana. I know I can count on you to look out for everyone. So I'm sending you my access codes. It should get you into my stuff and a few engineering areas. The spare rations, my playing cards, whatever else. If any of it helps even a little bit, please, take it. Share it. Figure it might make things a little more comfortable for you all.
Trem, prepare for departure.
Shit, I gotta go. I have no idea how to end this. Good luck. No. Goodbye.
End of message. If any of Dr. McKenna's codes prove useful, I'll add them to your ARM computer.
Thank you.
Tragic. I have a feeling I can't get access to that thing there until I figure out how to bypass it.
This device indeed appears to be a portable cloak emitter. Juno, I believe your conjecture was correct.
Naturally. If you scan the shell's data port, I believe I can create a similar device for you. Cloak emitter module identified. Unfortunately, the data contained in this shell is only partial. Jack, To complete the reconstruction, I'll need you to scan additional units.
Understood. We have another casualty.
It appears he was trying to assist right up until the end.
I can't get through any of those things. So, can't get through there. Not going to be able to get through here. Have I got to come back here? I don't think there's any backtracking. Whoo, da 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 dum.
A keypad for the duct. Juno, could one of Dr. McKenna's codes work here?
I believe so, yes. Try 2525.
Access to the utility ducts granted. Moving through the vents now.
Tell me something, Doctor. How long does it take?
What?
For the infection to run its course?
Once it becomes fully active, usually somewhere between 3 to 5 days. But most victims opt to expedite their end.
Right. So, how does the infection work? Once it becomes active? I mean...
The biomass drains energy directly from your cells. Your body is in the throes of widespread cellular decay. Major organ failure follows 12 to 18 hours later. But at least by then you are not in as much pain, since the infection has likely started feeding on the electrical signals traveling through your nervous system. By day 4 you've...
Alright, I get the picture.
Liv, that's not going to happen to you.
Yeah,
Whatever it takes, we'll find a solution.
I know, Jack.
Excellent. That shell contained more data regarding the portable emitters. We'll need a good bit more to reconstruct the design, though.
I don't know why I'm ducking. I feel like I've gone round in a circle. Well, that's frickin' tragic.
Scan complete. We still need more data. Interesting. Doctor, this shell has a log conversation regarding the director and your research.
Go ahead, Juno.
Beginning playback.
Alright, Unit 5, back to the lab. The director wants to run those simulations again.
Query. For what purpose?
I'm not sure. Dr. Harlan's ideas were intriguing, to say the least, but, well, I suppose the director knows best. Go ahead and prep the simulations. I'll join you shortly.
Acknowledge, Dr. Bigelow.
Huh. So the director eventually explored your theories after all?
I didn't expect she would continue it after I left. But without the biomasses-based genetic material, it would have been as much of a dead end as containment. I just couldn't convince her.
How did I get down here?
I found another arm equipped with a cloak emitter, a backup safety measure.
More than likely, but that's the problem. The biomass can't be contained, no matter how many redundancies you put in place.
I'm guessing am I controlling it from here, I think? Indeed.
Controls for the nearby cloak emitter. Fortunately, they're still operational.
I can't turn it. I can go up and down.
Jack, I'm getting network ping from unscanned medtech shells within the medical lab. My reconstruction of the personal cloak emitter is nearly complete. One more scan should be sufficient.
Whoa! Oh!
Patient chart reveals catastrophic cellular breakdown.
Most likely an internal infection that passed through the tissue.
Does that happen in every case?
Eventually, but the host is usually deceased by then.
Well, that's a relief.
I have a feeling I'm probably going down there. What they're basically doing is kind of, well, I was going to say guilt tripping you, not guilt tripping you, but they're kind of increasing the stakes every time you report something. They're basically saying, this could happen to Liv. Yeah, it's glass. Can't get through there. We've got to go round. So is there a reason why this is not working?
Jack, you may find some medtech shells with useful data near the patient chambers.
I mean, it looks like it's... no fucking way near. Oh!
Data collection complete. Finalizing tool reconstruction. Reconstruction complete. Please visit a fabricator to install your new cloak emitter.
A further casualty of the biomass.
Dr. Jordan Dechi. She specialized in pain management therapy for the infected.
I guess none of them have got data thingies. Fabricator, you say? You mean that big thing over there? Oh! Ah!
Cloak emitter installation successful. This portable version is practically identical to the mounted prototypes you've been using thus far.
You mean that?
Excellent. A tool like this will make it much easier to get around.
Just keep in mind that its effective range had to be reduced to achieve portability. If you move too far away from your target, the tool will deactivate.
Ah. Noted.
Interesting. Not sure why I came in here now. there's something up there. Bonk. I don't know, is this where I came from? Oh, I think I've been through here. I have been through here before. Because that's where I got that thing over there.
Jack, your cloak emitter tool should perform well against the webs in the medical lab. It should neutralize them just as efficiently as the larger cloak emitters that you've been using.
Have to figure out which one to use it on. Right, so we're not going up there. Does it want me to go? Have I gone through there already?
I'm back in the lobby, proceeding to biomass containment.
I always like to close the doors behind me.
There's another voice-activated control panel here.
Additional security for the biomass containment area. It requires the voice authorization of a high-ranking official.
Well, we've got Dr. Harlan, right? Let's get that door open.
My authorization won't be enough. We'll need someone with higher clearance.
The research director.
After a lockdown, she'd be the only one able to enter containment.
With a large enough sample of the director's vocal modulations, I should be able to synthesize her voice.
A voice sample? I don't know, even if we could find one, I'm not sure it's fair to...
Pull up my personal archive, Juno. There's just one file there.
You're sure, Dr. Harlan?
Go on.
Beginning playback.
I'm not going to be able to change your mind, am I?
I just... You know I wouldn't leave unless I had...
It's okay. A kill would change everything. Not wrong about that. I just wish...
I know, Nora. Me too. I won't be long.
Dr. Director. I'm sorry, but it's not enough. We'll need more data before I can accurately synthesize the Director's voice.
Echo 1, you'll need to return to the medical lab. Find Nora. If our data port is still intact, it may be our best chance of finding more voice data.
Of course. I'll head back to the med lab.
Alright, Unit 5, back to the lab. The Director wants to run those simulations again.
Query. For what purpose?
I'm not sure. Dr. Harlan's ideas were intriguing, to say the least, but, well, I suppose the Director knows best. Go ahead and prep the simulations. I'll join you shortly.
Acknowledge, Dr. McKenna.
That's Liam O'Brien.
Hey, Adriana. Well, I know I can count on you to look out for everyone. So I'm sending you my access codes. They should get you into my stuff and a few engineering areas. My spare rations, my playing cards, whatever else. If any of it helps even a little bit, please, take it. Share it. I figure it might make things a little more comfortable for you all.
Tram, prepare for departure.
Shit, I gotta go. I have no idea how to end this. Good luck? No. Goodbye.
Ah! What? Why would you...
It's incredible.
Why would you
Coming here was an excellent idea.
ever need to do that?
Dr. Harlan, I must again insist that you return to the ship. Conditions here are not conducive to...
Oh, listen to this. The ship that destroyed the Kronos.
Hey, Adriana.
Why would you ever need to...
Complete.
And...
Negative.
Shut up. A simple scroll bar would have done.
Please return to the medical lab when you're able, Jack. We'll need you to scan the Director's data port to see if any local voice data still exists.
What's the catch? So which one was Nora? That just says casualty.
Jack, we still need more voice data in order to bypass the security panel in the lobby. Please visit the research director in the medical lab and scan her data port.
Research director. Who is the research director's name? That's what I don't know.
Hey, Adrian.
I'm not going to be able to change your mind, am I?
I just... You know I wouldn't leave unless I had...
It's okay. A kill would change everything.
Nora. What was her name?
Jack, you'll find the research director in the medical lab. For us to have any chance of gathering more of her voice data, scanning her data port will be necessary.
I'm in the medical lab, ain't I? I think. Bonk. That's Dr. Teller. That's Dr. Lay. It's her over there. Have I got to come down from the top there?
Confirmed. This data has what we need. A message from the research director. It's addressed to you, Dr. Harlan.
Go ahead.
Dr. Harlan.
We need her authorization. Just play it.
Beginning playback.
Everett? I don't know if you'll ever find this, but I wanted to get it out before... well, before things get any worse. If you do manage to find this, well, then it's happened. I suppose the good news is we got the emitter deck to work. Which, if I'm not mistaken, means you owe me dinner. Everett, listen to me. I know you. I know you're going to try to put all this on yourself somehow. Make yourself believe there was something you'd have done had you been here, but it's not true. You understand? Don't go trying to carry that. We all knew developing a cure was virtually impossible. No one here was waiting to be saved. You're leaving. You're already doing everything you could do to try and stop this. I miss you, Everett. Be safe. I love you. Goodbye.
I'm so sorry, Harlan.
It is difficult to comprehend exactly what you are experiencing, Doctor, but please accept my condolences as well.
She was a good person. She deserved a better resting place than this.
I believe I have enough data to synthesize the director's voice now.
Understood. I'll return to the security panel in the lobby. I'm back at the security panel. Are we sure this will work?
No, but we can try. With Dr. Harlan's permission, of course.
Do it.
This is Dr. Nora Parikh. Authorized containment access.
Juno?
Yes, Doctor?
Never do that again.
I'm entering what appears to be an excavation site.
You are correct. It's the only remaining route to the biomass containment area. We should be able to find our sample there.
Acknowledged.
Is this containment area where the outbreak started?
Most likely. I'll continue parsing logs to see if I can determine what happened.
I'm sure that's not necessary.
Do it. I need to know.
Of course, Doctor.
Not sure what that is.
I assume these barriers were set up while construction was taking place.
Correct. Data files show a series of tunnels extending beyond the barriers.
The scale of these excavations seems to far exceed our mining efforts back on the Kronos 2.
Absolutely. Though, this excavation was done to leverage the asteroid's bulk as a protective layer against the biomass. Any valuable mineral extractions were merely a byproduct.
Does most of humanity have to live like this? Underground, so to speak?
For several generations now.
I'm sorry. We'll find a cure. We have to.
Were these excavators being used to expand the containment area?
I can't be certain, but given the advancements made in insulation cloaking technology, I imagine they would have been trying to ramp up testing or possibly even production. Undoubtedly, that would have required taking in more samples than the facility was currently equipped to contain.
Could that be what caused the accident?
Possibly. If the research team was indeed rushing to complete work on the cloaking tech, then it is possible certain containment systems were overtaxed.
I should have been here.
Then you'd be dead too. And so would we, probably.
I'm detecting a tick up ahead.
Would my cloak emitter be effective?
I believe so. And the device's range should allow you to cloak the tick before it detects you.
Cloaking successful.
All this advanced tech, and the biomass still broke containment.
Yes. This is why eliminating the biomass is our only option.
Juno, these excavators are automated?
Correct. They would have deactivated automatically as part of the lockdown.
Makes sense. Best to turn off every power source possible.
I'm guessing we haven't got power. That's the thing. Shit. The battery thing is over there. I left the drone behind. Don't like it, not at all. Don't like it. Okay, there it is. Bonk. Multitasking here. Ow. Okay. Well, I guess we've already reported an excavator.
I'm approaching a large opening. There is a conveyance system installed overhead.
That is how newly arriving containment units were transferred into main storage. Local telemetry indicates a significant biomass presence throughout the area. Containment certainly failed here.
Acknowledged. I will proceed with caution. This container must have lost power at some point. Unfortunately, it appears its contents have escaped. How certain are we that a functional container is still here?
Based on the logs, one stock container arrived shortly before the lockdown.
Hopefully, it remains intact.
I need to not let it escape once it's charged. Ow. Alright. So we're going to have that one. Gonna charge you up.
There is a wealth of data here. Much of it will be useful for our work on developing a cure. Good find.
Was that optional then? Meanwhile, I was getting fucked by that. I think there's something there to scan as well.
There is an X3 shell encased in biomass. Shall I scan its data port?
It is likely to possess details about the outbreak.
Then do it.
This large door has been rendered inoperable by the biomass.
As I suspected. It leads to the main storage area. Any biomass samples in there won't be reachable. If they're even still contained, that is.
I know what I've got to do. So I can't distract. It enough. So I've got to go with it. Gotta let it go first. Out. Out.
Data retrieved. I believe the synthetic using this shell was indeed present for the initial containment failure. I'll play the log.
Director Park.
Yes, unit.
A Category 4 containment breach is in progress.
What?
Origin uncertain. Multiple ticks are unrestrained in the conveyance shaft. I am beginning to lock down.
Have any personnel had direct contact?
Several. I sacrificed my shell to prevent immediate fatality. I'm in the process of reprinting with a portable plug emitter.
All right, I'll triage the infected in the med labs.
Your SIP telemetry indicates you are not wearing a helmet. To avoid dying...
I'll find one. Just prioritize personal evacuation, then lock down the entire containment area. Especially main storage.
Acknowledged, Doctor.
Nora, why did you...
She did her best. She tried to... No, she did help everyone. I'm sure that without her...
It doesn't matter. Without a cure, none of it matters.
Well, then... we know what we have to do.
Agreed.
That?
There is an electrical transformer here. Its power field appears to be keeping all nearby biomass active.
Any chance there's a bypass in it, Doctor?
Effectively? No. That subsystem has been consumed by the biomass.
Lovely.
I cloaked one of the sensors on this web, but it's not having the same effect as before.
One of? How many sensors does this web have?
At least 4.
Then this web must have been cultivating here for some time. It's possible this is where the outbreak originated.
Unfortunately, Jack, your cloak emitter cannot sustain enough insulation fields to blind all of those sensors.
There must be something else we can do.
Agreed. I'll find a way to retract the web.
I wonder. Maybe something to do with where the wires are going, perhaps. Although I don't think the ticks had anything to do with it. Or perhaps I can bring a fully charged thing down here. I can actually bypass them. Okay, where's the drone you've been humping? Where did you leave it?
Juno, is there any other way to cut power to that transformer? The main breaker, perhaps?
I'll search the schematics. I'm afraid that's located on the other side of the web.
Of course.
Of course it would be. It's got something to do with this. I'm sure it has. I mean, maybe I can lure them all. No, you're not going anywhere. No!
Oh, what if we use Jack's cutter to just destroy the transformer? I don't advise that, Captain. The blown power line would still feed the biomass, but the damage might prevent us from using the equipment required to retrieve the contained sample.
All right. Just trying to use every tool at our disposal.
Question is, can you actually grab hold of these once they're frozen?
Shields at 95%. Shields at 50%. Shields at 30%.
That's a no. Surely you could lure the things down here to drain that transformer. Surely.
Wait a second. If a cloak emitter can blind the biomass by stopping power field...
If you can't cloak the sensors, cloak the power source.
Oh, nicely done, Jack.
That was unexpected. I'll need just a moment to further analyze the reconstructed targeting software. Ah, I see it now. The cloak emitter should be able to target power sources as well, as long as they're sufficiently compact.
Copy that.
I was...
Proceeding to the web now. Is this the cargo bay?
Yes, and our containment unit is indeed intact.
I'm still prepping the intake system. Should be ready by the time the container gets here, though. I'm assuming we have what we need.
Readings show a full complement of ticks within. So, yes, Captain, we have what we need.
I am hesitant to consider that need fulfilled until we successfully move the container out of the facility.
Fair enough. We'll send a cargo drone for pickup once you're ready.
Acknowledged. I'll get the door. Does this crane meet the size requirements for the cloak emitter?
Unlikely. However, I suspect it is more useful without insulation anyway.
Do. Whoa. Steady. Whoa. Doing this the wrong way around. Right. Okay. Let's got them out of the way.
Collecting these ticks could not have been easy.
The X3 synthetics did lose many shares in the process, but they performed their function.
An access panel.
A way to release the container?
That is correct.
Good eye, Jack. But best wait on that. I don't want our one and only container floating around bumping into things. Let's just focus on opening the bay door for now.
Copy that.
It won't let me look at it. Oh, because I was using the wrong tool, that's why. Aww. Not gonna let me do anything with it until I do the first objective. Whoa. This looks like bonus stuff down here. No, this looks like we're going to be going down here. No ports to look at? No? Okay. Whoop!
Jack, the cargo drone is on standby to retrieve the container. When you're able, please move your drones to open the bay door.
Exterior bay door opened.
Copy that. We'll send over a cargo drone to retrieve the container. Shouldn't take too long.
Jack, we'll just need you to manually release the container once the drone has secured it.
Acknowledged. I'll head to the cargo bay.
Is there a possibility of...
From this side, the web sensor is inaccessible. I won't be leaving that way.
Yes, that is unfortunate. However, schematics do show a maintenance duct nearby.
I'll see what I can find.
I'm always forgetting that there's things above me. I mean, this is not as really as scary as you really think. Has that got an access port? No.
Careful, Jack. There's another form of the biomass nearby. You may have seen them before. Elongated structures with an affinity for spore dispersion.
Indeed, cysts. Their rapid regrowth, even after bursting, makes them particularly dangerous. This specimen appears somewhat different than the others I've previously encountered. It has tentacles.
Yes, I believe that particular adaptation manifested somewhat recently. The biomass has been evolving continuously since your time. Regardless, you'll want to keep your distance, if possible.
You think?
A surprising amount of data. Some of it's irrelevant, but a fair bit could help our efforts on a cure. Thanks, Jack.
Of course.
This is the administration area. Once past the next hallway, Jack, you'll be back in the cargo bay.
Battery socket. You can stop beeping now. That would be really good. Let's have a look around.
These controls are offline. Can this door be bypassed?
I'm afraid not. However, as a precaution, this area runs on a localized power grid. If you can find a way to restore that grid, the door should become operable.
Recharge socket. Alright, there's going to be a battery around here somewhere. Don't tell me it's back in that. Again, I'm overthinking it again. Okay. Controls. Oh, Jesus!
Sensing the battery's power field.
Indeed. Any substantial power field will awaken all forms of biomass from dormancy.
Now that this battery has a charge, it is emitting a power field. Is there any reason why this is here? I mean, there's nothing I can disable out here.
The web there won't retract with the power field nearby, Jack. The cloaking technology might come in handy here.
Ooh, can I cloak the battery? Is that a thing? So I can fly through something.
Nicely done. Starting to get a feel for that cloak emitter, are we, Jack?
I'm still adapting to its functionality. The device's wide range of uses requires additional consideration.
It's brought us that much closer to a cure. For that alone, we should be grateful.
Indeed.
In this corridor, I found another casualty of the biomass. 2, in fact.
Dr. Stephen Garrick and Senior Technician Avery Park.
Seems they were left behind in the evacuation.
I doubt that. If they're here, it's probably because they chose to stay.
What do you mean?
I knew these people. Every researcher here understood what an outbreak would mean. That they would have to do whatever was necessary to try and protect the rest of the station.
I've nearly made it back to the cargo bay.
Good to hear, Jack. The drone should be there shortly.
Jack, the cargo drone will be unable to retrieve the container until it's released from the loading pallet. There should be a release mechanism near the container.
What's the catch?
Container released.
Confirmed. Container primed for departure.
It will need to be hooked up once it gets here, Jack. Care to give it the final touch?
I believe I would, yes. I doubt the procedure will take long.
Okay then. See you in a few.
Container departing in T-minus 10 seconds.
Better grab on or stay clear, Jack.
Jack, if you're planning on accompanying the container, now would be a good time to take hold. Cargo drone is departing in 3, 2, 1. Igniting thrusters.
Whee! Pew, 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 pew.
Jack, I hope you don't mind. I switched us to another comms channel for a moment. I have a somewhat personal question to ask you. Do you mind?
Go ahead, Juno.
Captain Rhodes, she considers you a friend, yes?
Yes, that is correct.
How do you know?
In the time I have known Captain Rhodes, she has consistently demonstrated behaviors that suggest she values my company, trusts my insights, and harbors a great concern for my overall well-being.
I see.
Why do you ask?
I'm trying to discern if Dr. Harlan considers me a friend. Biometrics indicate he is still experiencing some distress, but I'm unsure if it would be appropriate for me to console him. What is your assessment?
Based on my observations, I believe Dr. Harlan considers you a friend. He will appreciate your efforts, even if he does not outwardly display it.
Thank you, Jack. I agree with your assessment. I will do what I can to help the doctor feel better. Wait, did we just become friends?
I suppose we did.
Splendid. I'll return comms to the public channel now.
Earth still appears blue from this distance. The blight of the biomass is nowhere in evidence.
You think we'll ever be able to go back? Not just me, but humanity.
Cargo inbound to destination. Decreasing speed for final descent.
Looking good, Cowboy Jack. Steady as she goes. Hookup controls are over near the cargo clamps.
Yee-haw!
Biomass container in place and ready to be secured.
Go ahead, Jack.
Biomass container secured in place.
Copy that. All right, next up is a fuel cell. Dr. Harlan says the Astrea should have what we're looking for.
Correct. Though I'm doubtful it will be easy to extract.
I'm sure we'll figure something out. Jack, just let us know when you're close.
Will do. Liv, are you feeling well? Given your infection, I wanted to make sure.
Thanks, Jack. Honestly, I feel fine physically.
And mentally?
I'm fine there too, Dr. Jack. I mean, don't get me wrong. The state of this future is not great. But we've got a plan to fix it. And I've got work to keep me busy. Just soldiering on, you know?
Indeed. You'll let me know if your condition changes.
Of course.
How's your work here coming along?
Quite well, actually. For being 400 years into the future, this technology's pretty similar to what we're used to. I suppose an apocalypse slows things down a bit.
Understandable.
Still, the fabricators are quite handy. Juno's been printing me parts as I need them. Pretty cool, huh?
Agreed. I too believe the fabricators are quite cool. The speed with which they're able to reprint my shell is most impressive.
Indeed. I believe you'll find their efficiency impressive as well. A single high-density storage tank is good for hundreds of prints.
Now, if we could just find a way for them to print organic matter, they go from cool to perfect.
For coffee?
Of course, for coffee.
Why won't he let me do that one? Odd. I suppose it might be a good place to start.
These units were used to refuel ships?
Yeah, input only now, though. We got them hooked up to take in the contents of the gear you're collecting. Once we have both the fuel cell and the biomass container hooked up, we'll use these to route what we need to where we need it.
We are becoming quite skilled in bringing order to chaos.
Seems like we were built for this kind of work, huh?
Indeed. These containment units are quite effective. The ticks appear well pacified. How will we safely transfer them into the ship?
We've modified an intake unit to flush them directly into the engineering bay. It should be much safer than attempting a controlled breakout.
A slight deviation from the original accident, but for the added safety, worth it.
Well, it saved 3 minutes ago. Could have caught a lift. Well, I suppose we're going over this way. Now, I assumed that doing that bit first was kind of like getting the scary bit out of the way, or the tense bit out of the way first. But, the fuck is that? Looks like a bloody warhead.
Visit the bridge before getting started, Jack. Apollo might be our only shot at locating a fuel cell.
Yeah, we're gonna need radiation protection. Tempted to go up there. How far up is that? I mean, they wouldn't put something there if it wasn't worth going up there.
Yes, unit.
Mechanic Grid 4 containment breach is in progress.
What?
Origin uncertain. Multiple ticks are unrestrained in the conveyance shaft. I am beginning to lock down.
Have any personnel had direct contact?
Several. I sacrificed my shell to prevent immediate fatality. I'm in the process of reprinting with a portable plug emitter.
All right. Everett? I don't know if...
Hey, Adriana. Well, I know I can count.
Everett?
Bit fiddly.
Charging dock restored to operational status. You may recharge your shield as needed. Though, interesting. I believe I may have found a secondary use for restoring these docks, recovering their local data, specifically because the docks normally maintain a coordination and optimization network. They contain shared data from across the station. Prior to the generator going offline, the units in irradiated areas were sharing optimizations that I believe could still be used to improve your multispectral shielding, Jack.
Scanning further docks should provide the necessary data?
Yes, I believe so. I've added a tracker to your data tab.
You see? You see? A tracker to my data tab. Is that another tool I've got? No. I used to have, like, it was on the back of my wrist before. Eight minutes ago. Is there a way to save manually? Doesn't seem so, does it? Well, we'll just have to go through this checkpoint here. Say something was in my data. No, that's the wrong thing. Or was it that? No, that's missions. No, it's not that. Maybe that was a save there. convenient stopping points are always a difficulty.
A bypass for the door controls, locked behind a keypad.
It was the only way I could gain access. The code is 2126.
That fills me with confidence.
I've gained access to the bridge.
I assume you have some type of plan.
Apollo's AI core would be an appropriate place to start. It was vital to his operation here.
Good point, Jack. If it's still intact, could be all we need to strike up a conversation.
You two are rather confident.
Apollo commissioned us as official crew members last time we met.
And we did part on good terms. I'm sure he'll do what he can to help.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
A casualty from Dr. Harlan's previous investigation.
It was just another shell lying around the station. We were trying to put it to good use.
I thought I could pilot it well enough, but apparently limb control is not my forte.
I'm expecting you'll fare better, Echo One. If this Apollo is indeed the ally you say he is.
These induction panels were essential to my survival on the Estrella. However, they no longer appear to be in an operable state, much like the rest of the ship. An electrode for the defibrillator.
If you hadn't found that defib unit when you did, I wouldn't be here.
Your safety is my primary concern. I will do everything in my power to prevent you from coming to harm.
I see. So that's why you're so keen on all this time travel nonsense?
Precisely. If your infection is indeed life-threatening, I am compelled to do whatever is necessary to help you find a cure.
If the two of you are finished.
Right. Let's get back to it. Apollo's AI core probably just needs to be plugged back in, Jack. Let's see if we can get him kicking.
We once used this interface to grant Apollo control of the bridge systems. It could still work. The main access point for the bridge systems. With Apollo's AI core plugged in here, we might have a chance of establishing contact.
Detected. Bridge access is restricted to crew members only.
Wait, what?
Initializing threat suppression protocol.
Apollo, disable the alarms. Now!
Invalid command. The only crew members authorized with bridge access are Captain Olivia Rhodes and the Echo Unit designation. Jack. Welcome back to the Estrella. It is good to see you.
Thank you, Apollo. It is good to see you as well.
Is Captain Rhodes with you? And well, I hope.
Cheers, Apollo. We missed you.
Likewise, Captain. Jack, your appearance is altered. I almost did not recognize you. I must apologize for the alarms.
Your reasoning was sound.
What brings you back to the Estrella?
We need an FTL fuel cell, Apollo. But we believe you've been disabling Dr. Harlan's salvaging equipment. We'll need it back online to deal with the radiation here.
Preserving this vessel is my primary directive. The last time jump virtually destroyed it. No further attempts to remove or misuse equipment can be permitted.
Lives depend on it, Apollo.
I understand, Captain. but I cannot allow any further material from this vessel to be compromised.
Apollo, Liv is infected with the biomass, and your directive is protecting the ship's crew and its critical assets.
Forgive me, Jack. I failed to follow your reasoning.
You yourself commissioned Liv, a fellow Atlas employee, as acting captain after the deaths of your original crew. You must remember.
Confirmed. Though I had not considered her status in such terms. Captain Rhodes is truly infected.
She needs your help.
Very well. As the Astraea's tactical adjunct, my primary directive is to protect its crew.
So you will help then?
Affirmative. I am hereby available to assist you in obtaining a fuel cell.
Lovely. That's settled.
Apollo, are you able to detect any fuel cells that are still operational?
My sensor network has been severely damaged. However, any functional fuel cells on the Astraea would be in the auxiliary drive bay. It can be seen through the window far ahead of the bridge.
It seems easy enough to reach.
And it would be if this AI hadn't disabled the equipment I set up to counter the radiation.
A temporary security measure. Your equipment is now re-enabled.
You better not have damaged any of it.
Normal operations should resume now. Jack can verify this.
Normal?
Oh dear. Incoming.
What the hell is that?
A cargo drone. Apparently no longer capable of flight.
Apologies. My anti-theft protocols are quite aggressive.
Fortunately, our salvaging equipment appears to still have working radiation dampeners, meaning Jack should now have a safe route to the drive bay.
That's some good news.
A number of problems remain. Accessing the fuel cells, for one. Doing so will require that I have direct control of the systems within the drive bay. You must bring me along with you.
Are you seriously going to integrate with this rogue AI?
Without Apollo, we wouldn't have lasted this long. We can trust him.
Jack, I'll walk you through the process of downloading my imprint to your cortex.
I'm ready, Apollo.
Simply insert my AI core into the lower receptacle, then use your data link on the override slot. I will do the rest. Disconnecting from mainframe now.
Okay.
Download complete. Only one final issue remains, Jack. Your arms are too short.
Too short?
The FTL technology is highly sensitive. Accessing the drive bay and the fuel cells within will require multiple operators.
Good thing there's two of us then.
Unfortunately, the debris field is far too irradiated to accommodate Captain Rhodes.
You're saying Jack's the best chance we've got, but even he won't be enough.
I might be able to help, actually. The cargo drones employ stasis technology, which enables them to manipulate objects at a distance.
Like the stasis projectors we used to levitate the tram back in the hab.
Exactly. I believe I could incorporate the drone stasis tech into your shell, Jack. I'll just need more data from them to be sure.
The drone that just hit the bridge is unlikely to put up much resistance. I'll start there.
Whenever you're ready, Jack.
I'm heading out.